Hey, it's Ramsey Dewey over here in Shanghai, China. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. Today we have a question from our friend Cisco. Cisco says, "Hi Ramsey, I train karate. I'm still a beginner and I want to start doing sport BJJ, but I broke my leg a few months ago. Ouch. And I'm walking now, but I'm still recovering. So my question is, what can I do to protect myself once I go back to training? I worry about hurting myself while sparring in karate or doing katas or hurting myself rolling in BJJ. What is your advice? Saludos desde Mexico. Y saludos a ti también desde China, mi amigo." Everyone keeps telling me I should do one of these in Spanish at some point. Podría, pero mi vocabulario me cuesta un poco porque hace más que 20 años que viví en Sudamérica, así que me cuesta. Aquí en China nadie habla español, así que voy a contestarte en inglés. So, you broke your bone. That's pretty serious. Now, whenever you have a serious injury, it is so incredibly important to focus on rehabilitative exercises to make you stronger. Our instinct is to sit it out and not do anything while we wait for the body to heal, but we can help the body to heal faster through rehabilitative exercises, stretching and strengthening, especially strengthening. When it comes to broken bones, you want to be able to expose your body to stresses. You know, when astronauts go up into space, they have to exercise vigorously every single day so that they don't lose bone mass. Because in zero gravity, what happens is there's no stress on the bones, there's no pressure pushing down, compressing those, telling the body you need to be stronger. We need to contribute more materials to these bones to make them stronger so that they can support this workload. In zero gravity, there's no workload, so they've got to do all these various exercises, have these machines that put some stress on their frames, right? So we need to do that same thing here on Earth. Again, the tendency when we get injured is to lie in bed and wait it out. But what happens when we do that? Atrophy. The muscles shrink, they get weaker because, again, it's sending signals, instructions to the body about how to rebuild your body. If you lie down all day, what's the instruction we're giving ourselves? Yeah, we don't really need any resources here, so move along. And the muscles get weaker. It's atrophy, right? So it is imperative that you do what you can in the safest way possible to build yourself back up again. Now, obviously, we don't want to put stresses on your leg which will re-injure it or re-break it, so avoid those at all costs. Now, I don't know how far along you are in your recovery. You mentioned that you are worried while doing katas, and that's worrisome. If doing a kata without stress from another person on you, trying to beat you up, trying to twist you into a pretzel, as they would in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, if that is worrying you, that might re-break your leg, then yeah, you've got some work to do, my friend. You got some work to put in. When was this? Somewhere around the year 2000, 2001, there was this big jump in the understanding of the medical community about recuperative exercise. Because prior to that, at least in the United States, the common thought was a injured person, somebody who had just broken a bone, somebody who just had surgery, should basically lie in bed until they feel better. And then they got this wild idea. Those people need to get up and move around in as much as they are able to do so on a daily basis. Get the blood moving and coursing through the body to carry nutrients to the damaged tissue to heal it. And I ended up hospitalized, had all these surgeries on my guts, and the first time I went to the hospital for this, they kind of just let me sleep it off. And the second time, they had me get up and walk around, which was excruciating. It was terribly painful, but it was good for me. It was good for me because that is what ended up keeping me out of the hospital, the moving. unfortunately, we tend to think of recuperative exercise as rehab, as that once-in-a-while thing, only if we get injured, whereas it should become a lifestyle. I'm constantly hearing older guys say, yeah, well, I got this injury, and so now I don't know what to do. I'm not as flexible as I used to be. And they ask me for routines, like how do I stretch, how do I strengthen, how do I do all this? And I tell them this needs to be your lifestyle. It can't just be a once-in-a-while thing to try to fix a problem, because you live with the problem. You are the problem. Life is the problem. That's not the best way to word that, but you have to make stretching and strengthening your lifestyle. Not just a once-in-a-while hobby, but your lifestyle. Okay? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, as the old aphorism says. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So how do we prevent re-breaking that bone? You make yourself as strong as you can. I had a coach, and he tore his ACL in a fight. And the stud that he was, man, he called me up one day. He's lying in bed, and his doctors tell him he'll be lying there for the better part of the year. And he had me help him hang up a pull-up bar and a system of ropes next to his bed to help him climb up, get into that pull-up bar, and do pull-ups. His leg didn't work, but his arms did. His upper body was just fine, and so he thought, you know what, I'm going to do what I can instead of focusing on what I can't. And so he would do pull-ups every day. He would do all the exercises he could do without the use of his leg or without aggravating the injury every day. And at the 6-month mark, he went back to the doctor, and the doctor was shocked at the seemingly miraculous rate at which he was healing. He was getting up and walking months before the doctor anticipated he would. And he was back into training well before the doctor expected he would be able to. Now, why is that? Because he was in the habit of stretching and strengthening. So find ways that you can move without aggravating the injury, without making it worse, without putting undue stresses on the bone that make it feel like it would be in danger. Do what you can to make yourself as strong as you can. A lot of times, strength is downplayed in martial arts, which is a shame. I've made a lot of videos about this. But strength training is one of the most important things any athlete in any sport can do and should do. Even the wimpiest sports out there have very, very serious athletes who are very serious about strength training and will do everything they can to be the strongest, most athletic person they can, to get every edge they possibly can in their sport. And for some reason, many martial artists just poo-poo this idea. Martial arts, perhaps the most physically demanding athletic endeavor you could ever hope to participate in, and yet they tend to eschew strength training. We don't need that. Yes, you do, especially to prevent injuries. And if you've never broken a bone in your life and you don't anticipate it, you should be doing exactly the same thing. Stretch and strengthen every day. Make rehabilitative exercise a lifelong habit. And that way, if and when you do get injured, because eventually you will, if you participate in a high-risk sport like cage fighting or jiu-jitsu or something like that, eventually you're going to get injured. It's just going to happen. It's the nature of the game. Injuries happen. Then it's not going to be a life-changing moment where you fall into depression. Oh, boo-hoo, woe is me, I don't know what to do, because you will know what to do because you've been doing it the whole time. Así que, mi amigo de México, espero que este te ha ayudado y Buena suerte en tu entrenamiento. Muchas gracias por mirar. Ahora, how do you say get out there and train in Spanish? I've never translated that before. Get out there and train.